Hello, James Berg here, Yoga Top 40, next entry, Meet Me in the Middle. What a yogic title. Yoga happens in the junction. Yoga is about the reconciliation and integration of seeming opposites, of forces that could seem like they might be inimical to each other, but actually, when they are brought into togetherness, can draw out each other's complementary potential. Yoga recognizes that life is pulsation. It's a breath cycle. It's a heartbeat. It's expansion and contraction, up and down, in and out. Life is pulsation and life is a cycle. Is this not true? What is life if not a breath cycle and a heartbeat? Look at the year, the turn of the seasons. We live in a cyclical, pulsating world. The yoga research scientists of many millennia ago, just as other ancient research scientists in the spiritual traditions from all around the world recognized this. We live in a realm of pulsation. The expansion and the contraction, the engagement and the release. Hatha yoga, the yoga that works with the pulsations and the expansions and contractions of the physical body, harnesses these capacities for yoga. Yoga is always about balance. It is the midpoint. So yoga asana, asana means seat, also means posture, also means attitude. So yoga asana practices cultivate an attitude of inclusivity, receptivity, working skillfully with these forces that flesh is heir to, that animate us, these expansions, these contractions, these pulsations. How can we harness these tendencies and capacities of our physical and physiological vehicle so we can work with this vehicle in such a way that we get greater access to its innate underlying capacity for attunement and at-one-ment, to bring ourselves into a state of oneness, of balance, of wholeness, of harmony, of integration. Because when the system is balanced, integrated, harmonized, we can respond more skillfully to the predictably unpredictable vicissitudes of life. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga is skillfulness in the things that we do. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga is evenness. When we're even and balanced, it's easier to be skillful. When we're even, balanced, integrated, it's much easier to draw on our true resources. If we feel scattered, fragmented, scared, intimidated, spaced out, frazzled, we're not always able to draw on our true capacities. When we're in a state of equipoise, we can respond much more skillfully. So yoga is about cultivating that stable equivision and equipoise. Hatha. Sun, moon, hot, cold, expansion, contraction. These can seem like they are opposites. They can seem like they are going in the opposite direction. But really, when we start to explore them, we realize they exist on a continuum and they actually can help each other come to something much richer and fuller in the middle, in that sweet spot where they draw out each other's complementary potential. So in yoga asana, the practice of yoga posture, we encourage a seat in the whole field of our awareness that is at once sthira, meaning steady, and sukha, meaning easy. So the classic definition of yoga asana, sthira sukham asanam. Asana is the seat of awareness, is the type of posture, is the type of attitude in our awareness, in our body, in our minds, in our emotions, in which steadiness and easefulness are both present. So we think about it at first glance, steadiness, easefulness. They seem like opposites. But what happens if I go into extreme sthira, extreme stillness, steadiness? If I try to hold my body super steady, try it now. Hold your body so steady that if somebody was to jump into the room next to you, run up and try and push you over, you would not budge. You make yourself super steady. What will happen if you try to hold that extreme steadiness for very long? Before very long, you will collapse. You'll start to shake first, then you'll collapse. And what will you collapse into? Complete ease. But if you collapse into complete ease and you stay there for some time, what's going to happen? It won't be very easy. The body will ossify and get stiff. So real ease requires a certain degree of steadiness. Real sustainable steadiness requires a certain degree of ease. So really, there can be no ease without steadiness. There can be no steadiness without ease. Yoga, the seat of yoga, is that place where ease and steadiness get married. And they have a beautiful marriage. They get to know each other deeply, intimately, in such a way that they can draw out each other's complementary potential, which was in them all along, but which they needed the other to bring out into the lived reality where it can be relished and experienced. It's a bit like giving and receiving. Sometimes people think, oh, the giver is the active one and the receiver is passive. Not really. If somebody is going to truly receive, they have to be present to receive the gift. So there's a certain active presence that is required in order to be truly receptive. Similarly, if one is going to be able to give effectively, one has to be also receptive to the situation of that which we are offering to, if we're going to be able to give effectively. So it's not one or the other. We have to always have this balance of the complementary parts of this field of reality. So giving and receiving, not mutually exclusive. Steadiness and ease, not mutually exclusive. No, 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 they're mutually complementary. And this is what yoga teaches us in the visceral experience of our cell-deep, lived, physical, physiological, mental, emotional experience. What it means to come to harmony, it means including and reconciling and gathering into harmony and sustained mutual support all those different parts of ourselves. We can't leave things out. We can't choose one side and completely throw out the other. We have to come to that place of the middle. One way we can sometimes think about this is it's not black or white, it's grey. So yoga asks, please muster the courage and join me in the grey, because we only see the rainbow. We only see the myriad, variegated wonder and beauty of life when we admit the reality of the grey, when we admit the reality of nuance. Life is not black and white. Life is complex, infinite perspectives. But once we relax into the reality of the grey and the myriad beauty and diversity and wonder, then we can find greater steadiness there to navigate this complex reality more easefully, more skillfully, more able to appreciate its beauty as we walk the path of the uncertainty and mystery of what it actually means to wrestle with the reality of being a human being.